Psychological frameworks, the invisible blueprints of the mind. Imagine walking into a vast city at night. Skyscrapers stretch into the darkness. Streets twist in every direction. Thousands of lights flicker like stars trapped on Earth. Now imagine trying to navigate that city without a map. You would get lost almost immediately. But here's the strange part. Most people are doing exactly that inside their own minds. Because beneath every decision, every belief, every reaction, there exists something invisible. A psychological framework. The hidden architecture that shapes how we interpret reality. And most people don't even know it's there. Every human being sees the world through mental lenses. These lenses aren't physical. They're built from childhood experiences, cultural influences, education, successes, failures, fears, and hopes. Over time, the brain organizes these experiences into frameworks, mental structures that help us make sense of an overwhelmingly complex world. Without them, every moment would feel chaotic. Every decision would require exhausting amounts of thought. Psychological frameworks are the brain's shortcut for survival. But they come with a cost, because the framework that helps you understand reality can also distort it. Imagine two people standing in the exact same room. One sees opportunity, the other sees danger. The room hasn't changed. Reality hasn't changed. Only the framework has. This is why disagreements often persist, even when people share the same facts. They're not arguing about reality. They're interpreting reality through different psychological blueprints. One framework might say, failure is proof that I'm not good enough. Another says, failure is information. The event remains identical. The meaning completely changes. And meaning determines behavior. This is where life quietly transforms. Because your future is often less influenced by what happens to you than by the framework you use to interpret what happens. Think about resilience. Some individuals experience devastating setbacks and emerge stronger. Others experience similar setbacks and remain trapped for years. The difference is rarely intelligence. It's often perspective. A psychological framework acts like an internal operating system. It decides whether obstacles become lessons or limitations, whether criticism becomes growth or humiliation, whether uncertainty becomes adventure or anxiety. The most powerful people in history understood this principle. They understood that controlling circumstances is difficult, but controlling interpretation is possible. And interpretation shapes destiny. The fascinating thing is that frameworks aren't permanent. They can be updated, rewritten, expanded. The human mind possesses an extraordinary ability called cognitive flexibility, the capacity to examine old assumptions and replace them with more useful ones. This is how transformation happens. Not through becoming a different person, but through seeing reality differently. A person who once viewed challenges as threats can learn to see them as opportunities. A person who believed their identity was fixed can discover that growth is always possible. The world remains the same, yet everything changes, because the framework changes. And perhaps that's one of the most important realizations in psychology. You are not merely experiencing reality. You are constantly interpreting it. Every thought passes through a framework. Every emotion is influenced by a framework. Every decision emerges from a framework. The question is not whether you have one. The question is whether it is serving you. So the next time life feels confusing, pause and ask yourself, what framework am I using to understand this situation? Because hidden beneath every belief lies an invisible blueprint. And hidden within that blueprint lies the power to reshape how you experience the world. The moment you become aware of the framework, you stop being controlled by it. And that's where true psychological freedom begins. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.